Good morning, Care Bears. What's up? You know, I am so upset that my life was fucked up yesterday. That I'm really to the point, like, I almost want to cry right now about that because I'm not no big YouTuber and they removed it, you know what I'm saying? And all that. And I have so much information. I've been studying this for a long time. I'm just really sad about this stuff. So I've been putting a lot of work into this. And I realized that I'm just going to share what I have right now. I have to keep stopping. I'm not going to cry on camera. I'm just going to share what I have now. Try to push through this because my anxiety is really bad and I'm really sad about what happened last night. So, um, yeah, I'm really emotional about that. And I only got my little 630 something. It take me forever. I'm more mad than anything. I'm so upset. And I've been trying to shake it since I woke up, man. I'm so upset about that because it was a whole flat out lie. They were saying I was using unlicensed and they would just turn me off. You know, meanwhile, I got videos with whole movie clips, whole song clips in it, although I'm using my rights under the copyright laws to make criticism and commentary on the media source. And I'm not using anything but trying to have a conversation with the family member, with the Care Bears, the True Bears, you know what I'm saying? And I just kept getting clipped. I kept getting clipped. And I really wanted to talk with y'all live about the information I have. And the only thing that I'm forced to do is present the information this way. So fine. That's what I'm going to do. So let's get into it. And I'm going to be stopping a lot because I got a lot of issues going on already in my head. And this whole thing just fucks with my head and the people in my personal life that I'm trying to make see what's going on is not seeing what's going on. And people call you things because you see something that they can't see. And it makes me so mad, to label me as crazy or call me a conspiracy theorist to just that it's dismissful. It's dismissive, and it's hurtful. Because I put it behind the scenes a lot of time into my shit. Oh my God, why is it up? I don't hang out. I don't hang around a lot of people at all. I'm by myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm strapped up though, so don't fucking play games. You know what I'm saying? But I'm by myself and I spend the majority of my time reading and researching. I don't go kick it. You know what I'm saying? I don't be rolling with the homies spending my time doing frivolous bullshit. I don't hang around motherfuckers that ain't talking about shit. You know, I'm not that kind of person. I'm turning into my dad. Honestly, I'm turning into my dad. I just read a lot. Just read. I see something that other people can't see, and I just want to share it with you. I don't want money. I don't do this for money, even though I can start making money, and I would like for this to be another stream of income. But because it's something that I like doing, you know what I'm saying? This is stuff that I do anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's selfish and unfair to not share the information that I have when I find it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't just look at something for what they say that it is. You know, because I'm gonna just go through the shits. You know, because for me, when I was like 18 and September 11th happened. No, I was younger than that when September 11th, but I saw the world change. And that's the first time that I seen our government be liars for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Although we were grown up as Jehovah's Witnesses and not to trust them and not to fuck with them. But that was the first time I was able to see why. Except between September 11th and the war in Iraq, I was able to understand why. And so today, you know, with the things that I'm going to discuss with you, hopefully this will give you some understanding of why I feel the way that I feel. I believe the things that I believe. If I so choose to, because I'm just going to wing this, you know what I'm saying? But I'm uh, emotionally drained, you know, because my world is changing. You know, I'm going to have to work from home, and I don't like that. I don't like why I feel blessed, and I thank God, you know, because there's a lot of people I know who are losing their jobs, and that breaks my heart, you know. They're forcing us, they're forcing us into our homes, and the shelves in the stores are empty because people are scared or greedy. And the only way that we gonna get through this is if we look out for each other. If you are able to, and that's the only way. That's the only way we're gonna get through it. We gotta try to look out for each other if we can. And if it's really a virus, we gotta stay clean. I feel two sides of this in regard to what it is specifically. I feel like one side it's one thing, and I feel on the other side, we do have to be cautious. And in my head, I feel like it's flu season anyway. It's time to get pneumonia anyway. Like, and so I feel like the symptoms that they're talking about remind me of what would be happening at this time anyway. So I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't, I'm not like the smartest person in the world, but I'm not no dummy either. You know what I'm saying? And I think why I'm upset is because I tried to do another live before get last night, and I couldn't upload it. And then last night I tried to get on live like 10 times. And it was just like something was stopping my shit, you know? And intentional. It felt intentional. It felt like somebody was like specifically targeting my shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool and dandy. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. But it ain't gonna stop nothing over here. And I don't give a fuck. So whatever. So um after I record this video, I'm gonna go live, and then I'm gonna go live again sometime tonight just to talk. You know what I'm saying? Talk with y'all, because I want to know from you guys what you think about the information I provided, and then like just have a discussion about it, because I'm not just watching the news and believing what they say, because you cannot do that. These next videos, I'm not gonna be no lashes, none of that. I'm gonna be dry as a motherfucker. All you get is maybe some lotion on my face and some lip gloss if I feel like doing that. So that's just a warning. I'm gonna be dust crusting in my sweats, and I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, sorry about the super long intro. I'll put down in the bottom where to skip to get to the fucking point, because I know I'm like that too. But for those who do give a fuck, I wanted to share that with you because I know y'all care about that, and it's been really hard, and I don't like change anyway, and I don't like the changes that are coming down the pipeline, and I don't like how some of my family is behaving. And but we gonna get it together, y'all. So it don't even matter. You can't control grown folks. So just like they can't control me. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do and make sure I got what I need, and try to be there for my family if and when I can. And if I want to in some cases. So I'm just gonna share what I got so far, and as always, come into the room, liking and subscribing and sharing with your partners. And I'm gonna share what I got so far, and then we're gonna come back and discuss more things, because there's more to research. And I felt like if I just would have kept researching, I would have been researching forever. So so let's get into the shit. All right, y'all. So first, I'm gonna start here. You know, um, let's start with food and everything. I think this is a good time. If you can, if you're able to, if you want to, uh, in regard to eating, I think this would be a good time eating once a day, practicing fasting. And one reason, because it's good for you. Number two, it'll help your body rid itself of waste. And then thirdly and lastly, you'll be preserving your food for a longer time, because it doesn't look like this is going to be, it's not going to be any end in sight in the near future. It doesn't look like this is going to be stopping anytime soon. So, I would advise, if possible, to so get you a kitchen garden going. That's what I'm going to be working on today. Get me a little kitchen garden, a little bedroom garden going, so you could continue to have the vegetables that you're going to need, because it doesn't look like it's going to be no end in sight. So you do want to be self-reliant in some regard. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is working on making myself a little garden in my bedroom, a little garden for my roommates in the kitchen, and so we could be on deck. You know what I'm saying? So we could kind of, as I'm not a selfish bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I want, we all have to have fruits and vegetables. We all have to eat healthy. Now, I can't be buying them no vitamins and shit, but you get your vitamins from the vegetables down in that kitchen. You feel me? You want to stock up on your vitamins as well. Make sure you got your black seed oil and get you some oregano oil, and immunity building stuff like echinacea, elderberry, things like that. So make sure you keep that on deck. I'm sorry. You want to have your water on deck as well, as much as you can. I'm gonna just start getting some containers today, and I'm just gonna start filling them up with the city water and have them on deck for everybody who's in the house, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Because you just don't know. And that's the best and freest way to do it. And one of the smartest ways, I mean, of course, you want to have some bottled water too as backup. But if you're able to just get some milk cartons or containers or jars or whatever the fuck you got and just start filling them shits up, you'll be good. Coffee cans, well, no, because that's metal. But you want to start, holding water in your house, because that's where we're going to have to be. You know what I'm saying? So those are some ways that you could do. And you want to get your hands on some rice and pasta, and your canned foods. You know what I'm saying? There's really no point in buying a lot of meat and shit, because unless you're gonna eat that shit within 6 months, I mean, what's the point? um I don't eat meat anyway, so I think it's stupid in 2020, with all the information available, why any person with any logic would be eating meat anyway. It's just stupid as fuck to me. But maybe it's the same reason why I'm a smoker. But I think that a person with, mental problems, but I mean, hey, maybe you got mental problems too, and that's why you're so dumb and you eat meat. I don't know. We're both stupid then. So, anyway, start doing that. And all your habits or whatever, because they're going to be closing the liquor stores down too. So, if you need that drink, then it's time for you to stockpile your bottles. And whatever the fuck else it is that you need. Um, so, and also, I would even advise watching, survivalist videos, and just so you can know the basics and putting them into practice. But some of the things I was watching, the basic stuff, is things that we learned as we were kids. How to pitch a tent, how to make some quick shelter. I don't know how to start a fire, but I do know how to collect and clean water. So things like that, little simple shit, right? And then, but we're not going to be outside anyway. But for the long haul, I think we should start practicing one meal a day, and then like that. So then, if it goes, into some other shit, you're already prepared in that manner, because people who are not prepared and hungry, are become more desperate. So if you're already on point and moving a certain kind of way in how you move every day, you know what I'm saying? Then like you've been just drinking water all day and eating once at night. You've been doing that. So to do that when it's really time to do it, it's not going to be nothing for you. It's not going to be a hard transition for you, because you're already doing it. Just like this shit with us having to be in the house, it's not a hard thing for me, because I don't fuck with niggas anyway. So I'm always in the house anyway. So it's not gonna be shit for me to stay in the house, because I'm always in the house anyway. So this is not a hard thing, because I don't fuck with these motherfuckers at all. You know what I'm saying? Because I just think it's a bad idea. So and then I don't, anyway. I Because people switch up too much, and I ain't got no time. And I don't got time to be around no shady, backstabbing ass bitches. You feel me? I deal with that with my own family, so I don't need no new bitch being a backstabbing lying ass bitch too. So I just stay to myself. So 20 minutes in, we got the food action on deck. That's just my suggestion of how you should move. The more that I learn, the more that I'll share, but I just think that is a good idea. With the dried foods, the dried beans, the dried, um, pastas, rice. Get black rice. Get basmati rice because those are the healthiest ones. Basmati has more minerals in it than brown rice. Black rice is the most optimum rice. So if you could get your hands on a lot of those two, I know like the 5 pound joint is $7.50. The bigger one is $15. And I know the black rice, it comes in like 1 pound for $2.60. But I'm telling you, a little bit of rice makes a big ass plate. So you don't really need when you're preparing a meal at a time, you don't need that much rice to feed a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like 1 cup could really make 3 people a good plate. You know what I'm saying? 3 or 4 people a good ass plate with some shit on top of that rice. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need a whole lot to last a long time. Just like pasta, and I would even save pasta, you know, for the last option. You know what I'm saying? As far as your daily eating. So I'm just saying. So I'm gonna stop rambling on about that. But you want to get your lentils, your all the beans you can, black beans, red beans. Remember, the darker the beans, the healthier. The more pigmented color, the healthier. So you want to get your green, your red, your black beans. You know what I'm saying? And then if you just ain't got no choice, just get whatever you can. And I personally could survive on that for a long ass time. So that's just your girl. And then you want to get your seasonings too. So as much as you could afford, and and just stock up on that. I would get bouillon or some kind of vegetable something, something that will last a long time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's my suggestions there in regard to that. So let's move forward with this next part, just talking about it in itself, CV. So on one side, on the side of precaution, do the social distancing. I mean, we really don't got a fucking choice. So just do that. Wash your hands. I mean, you should be washing your fucking hands anyway. But after you touch the doorknobs and all that, you want to be very conscientious of your hands, which you should be doing that any fucking way. I'm just saying, like, when you walk in the house from work, what do you usually do? You go pee, you use it, you unload yourself from the day, and after you use it, you wash your fucking hands. When you're about to make you something to eat at the end of the day, what do you do before you cook? You wash your hands. So that should be common fucking sense to me. You know what I'm saying? If your ass does not feel good, slay your black ass down some fucking where. Like that, I mean, these things that they're suggesting sound dumb as fuck to me. Like it's like ooh ah, and I don't feel that ooh ah. I don't feel like oh my god that. I don't feel oh my god that. I feel like oh my god, the government is plotting on us. I feel like oh my god, they're doing a sales pitch on us because they're gonna sell us some new fucking drug to kill us off. That's how I feel. I feel like, ooh, ah, they're implementing something that we can't see. And they're not really being truthful for. That's what I feel, ooh, ah, about. I don't feel, ooh, ah, about some fucking flu. I mean, if anything, what I'm afraid of is pneumonia. Because you can have that and not know and fucking die. I mean, rest in peace, Dad. I mean, that's what I'm afraid of. Because there's no dry cough or none of that. It's your lungs are filling up and you're fucking dead. So that's what I'm ooh ah and scared of. I'm not trying to tell you to not give a fuck, but for me, it's just hard for me to think that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm more or less wanting to be prepared because anyway, let's get into the information that I found. So, what I found interesting was the time frame that this thing has hit at the same time that the FIVEG, the 5G. I'm not about to do all that. The 5G and that shit has hit at the same time. So I'm just gonna go through everything that I took down so far and then go forward from there. Okay. So China went live with 5G in Wuhan as a pilot city. And this was announced in April of 2018. So it says read the screenshot. This is from their website. I can't include I could not include the link, so I had to do what I had to do. So I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of this weird ass color. I but I went to the website just like the dude, and you can't send the link, you can't share it. So all I could do is screenshot it and tell you. Okay. So a large scale 5G network engineering program will be piloted in Wuhan to accelerate the deployment of this new technology to hopefully upgrade the IT industry, as reported at conference on 5G networks planning and engineering in early April. Now that Wuhan as a pilot city to build 5G telecoms has been approved by the central government. 3,000 um, macro base stations and 27,000 micro base stations will soon be constructed by the end of 2018. The trial use of technology will start in various pilot areas. It is expected to be accessible to users at the Military World Games in 2019. By 2020, 5G network will cover every corner of the city and be available at an affordable price. So here we are at the end of 2019. The end of 2019, the beginning of 2020 is when it was turned on. So let's go into this. So that 5G is basically 60 gigahertz. And at 60 gigahertz, it basically it has oxygen absorption properties. So basically, in a nutshell, as it was described in the video that I watched, and then when I watched that video, I opened up another tab and looked up fucking 60 gigahertz and started watching videos on that and what it means and the effects of on the human body. So without being all scientific and shit, it basically chokes you the fuck out. I mean, it cuts off the oxygen, you know what I'm saying, in your body, basically. It makes the O2 molecules in oxygen heat up and cut out. That's it. It heats up. It heats up. And that's it. And it chokes you out. And when you cut off your oxygen supply, what happens? You fucking pass out. Yo, I just went to so I was on the part where you fucking pass out with the oxygen, and I went to find a clip, and I recalled that whistleblower doctor out in China who their government killed. Dude, I just thought that shit was ill because I read some shit about a virus where they said it's basically fucking impossible for a person to pass a virus on to another person. And just never fucking mind, okay? Just fall in line and act like you're dumb after you hear this information. just hold the information close to you and move accordingly, because apparently when you tell too much truth, motherfuckers just want to call you crazy, and they don't believe it anyway. So don't fucking waste your time. Let me waste it for you. I'll do it for you, okay? So as of now, they said by the end of 2019 there'll be 130,000 base stations in place. So they have done that successfully, by the way. So while Huawei builds 5G in Wuhan and aims to assist in fighting this thing, and in 6 days they had built a bunch of hospitals that have 5G robots in them. So 5G robots, Wi-Fi, all that. They're totally fully equipped with that network. So in 2015, the EMF Alliance, they created a petition where by 2016 there were 26,000 scientists all over the world who opposed the 5G rollout. Um, and this was updated again in January of 2019, and they were requesting a complete halt due to the harm that it will have on humans. And what I had heard from, I'm gonna shout her out, Dana Ashley. Dana, and she spells Ashley really different, Ashiele. I don't know. Look her up. Dana Ashley. She kind of has a list. She's a cute little white girl, whatever. But she's like one of those nerdy chicks who would say it like different. But she had mentioned that it mimics the symptoms presented by the new virus. So that's when I looked. That's what I found too when I was looking at the 60 gigahertz videos and looking at the symptoms charts that they had on the CDC, and even some of the ones that were sent to me via email at work. You know, what was so interesting to me that the symptoms of this new thing were far less alarming to me, but next to it they had like the new shit, the flu, and pneumonia. And pneumonia and the flu had the worst symptoms. This shit don't even create no phlegm. There's no running of the nose. And to me, that indicated to me that your body, there's nothing for the body to reject. The body isn't rejecting anything. You know what I'm saying? For example, when I wake up in the morning, I'm allergic to fucking everything basically, right? So when you're sleeping, that shit that you're breathing in is like, I don't know, compiling into your nostrils and wherever the fuck else, okay, right? So for most people who have allergies, and then the temperature changes, you get from your warm ass bed to the cold ass room to the cold ass floor. And for people who have the same kind of allergies I have, your body's gonna start expelling the shit that was clogged up in your nose, in your system. You're gonna start chewing. You know what I'm saying? That's why the symptoms of the flu and the pneumonia is achoo, because your body is cleansing itself of the shit that's inside of you. That's why you sneeze. That's why you blow your nose. That's why you have diarrhea. That's why you throw up. Because your body is cleansing itself of the bullshit that's inside. That's how God designed our bodies. When something foreign is in, your body creates things to push it out. You see what I'm saying? So the symptoms of that shit, and what we would, if this didn't even exist, during this time of the year, we would be dealing with the flu. You know what I'm saying? In the same time, we would be, if this was not here, this is what we would normally be dealing with. Because in certain temperatures, the shit that lives inside of you, for some people, that's why they have summer colds or whatever. Like for me specifically, I can only speak for myself, for the dummy in the back who always asks dumb questions. I can only refer to myself because I've only lived my life. I'm not a fucking robot. So I had pneumonia a lot, and it always seemed to happen in the wintertime. Why does that happen? Because why, just like when allergies are worse for other people, because that is the time of the year where whatever it is in your body makeup, that's the time where that shit is going to expel from your body. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? And just like doctors will tell you, you can't, there's no medicine for that because this is a body system thing. The virus has to run its course. So all they could do is treat the symptoms. You feel me? Unless you live on that old school nurse shit like from the 1800s when they were doing different water temperatures to help assist your body in combating the virus. You know, they would put people in hot water, then cold water, and hot water and cold water. And what that would do, or they would spray you with hot water and spray you with cold. And what that would do is help your body create the shit that it needs. I don't know the scientific words, but it will help assist your body in creating the things to help it expel the shit out, to create those mucus membranes to help you and that shit out your fucking nose. You feel me? Or shit it out. However it comes out your body. That's what that's what they would do back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that you could do is let it run its course. So that's why flu season is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a temperature change. And those things are already pre-existing inside of you. So at a different temperature for you, it's going to come out. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't believe it, do it. Look it up yourself. But I also, so back to the 60 gigahertz, it has a huge effect on breathing. Um, they said it has a unique absorption properties, basically choking your ass out. 60 gigahertz absorbs oxygen at 100%, hence why people were falling out in the streets. Um, so it says, use pneumonia as an example. I already did that naturally. So, as any symptoms of true illness. So, this thing doesn't have any real symptoms of illness in comparison to me. So, in my personal opinion, looking at the information that they present to you and in literal comparison, they put it in comparison for you. So, all you have to do is take your two eyeballs and go to the CDC.com and look at it. So per report, let's see, there's no phlegm, no nothing. Um, they also said that you could have that shit without fever. How, Sway? How the fuck? How the fuck you got a virus with no fever? Well, what are you? Are you a robot? Are you an inanimate object? Any person with any sign of fucking infection is going to have a fever because your white blood cells and those antibodies are going to gear up and kick ass. That's what time it is. So that makes no sense. Now here's some interesting things that I found out. So, in regard to the people that were on cruises and stuff, I want you in your free time to look up the Diamond Princess cruises. So this is where I have to do my own research, but because I only looked up on the next page, but we'll go in order, okay? So they recently in February of 2019, a year ago, had an upgrade on their cruise ships. Anyway, Medallion Net and SES Networks, they came together and to create high speed internet while you're in the ocean. And so basically, they have these geo satellites. I'm gonna show you the commercial.
That's all possible in large part thanks to what lies on board, what flies in the skies above, and the way we fuse all the technology together to ensure your experience is as great as possible. This includes simultaneously accessing multiple satellites in different orbits so that we can, 1, minimize the distance from the ship to the satellite to ensure your connection speed is maximized, and 2, minimize the impact of weather and large geographic features so that your connection is reliable. Here's a little bit of the physics behind the best Wi-Fi at sea. First, the fundamentals. Speed equals distance divided by time. If your destination is 100 miles away and you travel at a rate of 100 miles per hour, you will arrive at your destination 1 hour later. But if you travel at the same speed, 100 miles per hour, and you only need to go a quarter of the distance, or 25 miles, it only takes 1/4 of the time. Likewise, the closer the satellites are to Earth, the less time it takes for the data to travel, because the distance is shorter. This is a key medallion net difference. Medallion net always uses the closest satellites possible to our ship. And just for fun, radio waves travel at the speed of light, or 670 million miles per hour. Medallion net uses mid-Earth orbit satellites, or MEO, that are positioned 8,000 kilometers away, or 4,800 miles above the Earth's surface. At that distance, it only takes 0.2 of a second for your mobile device to communicate from the ship to the satellite. That's fast. It is fast. In fact, it's 3 times faster than traditional geosatellites, short for geosynchronous, which are in high Earth orbit, 36,000 kilometers or 22,000 miles away. Traditionally, the vast majority of cruise ships have access to geosatellites, and while that higher altitude has meant broader coverage, it's also meant slower connection speeds. Here's another interesting fact. The first geosatellite, SYNCOM-2, was launched by NASA from Cape Canaveral on July 26, 1963. 50 years later, in 2013, SES Networks created the first MEO satellites serving cruise ships, and now just 6 years later, there are 20 MEO satellites surrounding the equator that see our Medallion-class ships when they are south of 50 degrees latitude, which aligns with destinations like London and Vancouver, and which corresponds to approximately 80% of Earth's surface. However, this is a cruise ship, and cruise guests love to travel to the ends of the Earth. So, what about the other 20%? Geosatellites actually still reign supreme when enabling connectivity in the polar regions. This is because geo is not impacted by rain and weather, whereas there's nothing more stunning than the spectacular beauty of the summer months in the northern latitudes. The weather is more dynamic there than in the perpetually sunny Caribbean and Mediterranean. So on board Princess Cruises ships that feature Medallion Net, we leverage MEO and GEO satellites to keep you connected to the things you love most, and seamlessly shift to GEO when in the north. Thanks, GEO. In these tougher conditions, we're glad you're there. Yes, pages will take a second longer to load, but they will load in any weather condition. So let's switch from meteorology to geology. In northern latitudes, the ships themselves are dwarfed by the massive geographic features you come to see, like mountains, glaciers, and fjords. While gorgeous, these impressive wonders really mess with satellite reception. Whether MEO satellites or GEO satellites, the satellite beams cannot pass through physical geographic features. So with Medallion Net, we do everything possible to ensure the satellite can see the ship, including adding a second GEO satellite into our model, as well as focusing on ship positioning to ensure we get the best look angles possible. When it's impossible to avoid geographical feature interruptions and Medallion Net service becomes interrupted, we will do our best to advise you prior to the outage. There's a map on Ocean View TV that outlines known interruption areas, and if an outage does occur, we hope you'll grab your camera and take a few photos of the impressive natural wonder that's likely causing the interruption. To summarize, when this ship sails in places like the Caribbean or Mediterranean, we link to MEO satellites, and your
So there you have it. Them motherfuckers are off the chain. Okay.
Where's the system core? Somewhere in this building? Skynet, the virus is infected. Skynet is the virus. It's the reason everything's falling apart.
Here's another example on how it works.
Or smell it, but it makes unruly mobs do this. The Defense Department's active denial system, a non-lethal weapon that can be used to control crowds, secure perimeters, and keep pirates at bay. It could be a game changer. One of the things that we can shoot first and ask questions later. Normally you can't do that. The military says the active denial system is not radioactive, it's not a microwave, and it's not a laser beam. It's instead a man-sized beam of millimeter waves that can be fired from up to 1,000 meters away that are designed to get the subject, whoever's standing on this X, really, really hot so that they move. It's about 50 degrees out here right now, but I just felt like it was about 1,000, and I've never been inside a tub that somebody dropped a hairdryer in, but I would imagine that that's what it feels like.
Get back to the business. So with all that, Bill Gates funded the Prybite Institute, who owns the CV patent. And you remember on my last video, I told you who it was created by. There's like three chicks from that school, the Prybite Institute in UK. I told you about that, and when I researched it, boom, I found out, and he funded it in January 28th of this year. So, um, I wonder why that was happening. So Big Pharma and Microsoft will team up for the ID 2020 Alliance that will combine vaccinations with implantable microchips to create a digital ID. I'm supposed to, per my notes, find that article, and I will be doing this as a part two. There was an interview with an activist. He is the real creator of the uh, RTCHF and Rossum. His death is super mysterious, but via the superhuman radio, he spoke on some things in regard to the virus, which I found super interesting. And I also researched this on my own. So everything that I saw in that video, I went through and researched all that information, and I'm still doing so as of today. So, I will be researching some more and putting together another video that will just jump right into the action. But because of everything that happened yesterday, that's why this is a different kind of video. Um, it was, I would, whatever, we already know. So he explained viruses and colds, and he basically explained it just like how I explained it earlier. And he basically pointed out the fact that you cannot cross species. The only way you could do so is if it's injected. And so what they would do, like he gave the example of the 1976 swine flu, and what they ended up finding was with people who had gotten the vaccine that they had proteins of the pig basically in them, cross, which that was, basically put into a petri dish with some kind of shit that'll make you sick and injected in the motherfuckers. So that's basically what that uh it is. So, via David Rockefeller, the vaccine is what killed people. And after they received the vaccine, they died within 2 weeks, with temperatures change. Um, and that's basically when you get sick, when you get the vaccine. And during that time, Henry Kissinger, he stated basically that's the greatest way to depopulate is to inject with toxic medicines. Um, and they were given to the NSA, the military, secret services, and gave the right to start a biological warfare via vaccinations and these plots. So they basically set up the issue and then set up the solution. And I had a list while I was listening to that interview. Again, it's from 2009. His name is Jonas um, Vanderplatz. I fucked his last name all the way up, but it's one of those weird ones. And his name is Jonas Vonder Plants, Plants, the creator of Rawsome and the right to choose healthy foods. He's the creator of that. But if it's too much on the side of right, they take you out. And while I was listening to that interview, I thought of Zika, swine flu, the Spanish flu, SARS, the avian flu. And what was so interesting to me is that during all of these times that these were coming out, it was during election years. And they used this so the presidents could look like heroes. Like, so just like as of now, they're using this during the election year, and Trump is going to be basically look like the fucking hero, okay? And then also notice how fast these issues spread. You know, it's so interesting how somebody way across the world, could have something. You real shit don't even be spreading that fast, but it's so interesting how it just spread so quick, and how the doctors knew exactly what to test for. But it's supposed to be this new shit. So how do you readily have, you know what I'm saying, the testing on site if it's this new thing? How do you know what to specifically test for? If this is this new thing, if it's this new thing, well, how do you know what to test for? How is that test readily available? And then why is it all these celebrities and NBA stars already got these tests? And the regular, degular, schmegular folks, the ones who's living day to day, who could easily cross contaminate anyone, getting this. I was talking to my coworker, and I was like, all these essential employees cannot take off for nothing in the world, right? I'm an essential employee myself. You know what I'm saying? And it's so interesting to me, like these celebrities could get these tests, boom, just like that, and the regular, like, if people don't got no electricity, or don't got no water, or have no sanitation squad on deck, or have no trash people on deck, or sewer, or the people who take care of the sewer systems are not on deck. Eh, and these are people that everybody across the world depends on every day. If there ain't no electricity, then how they gonna how the NBA stars gonna practice? If there's no water available, how, if they're not able to flush their toilets, how are they going to be able to practice? How are they going to go to the gym? How are they going to do what it is that they need to do? They don't depend on people like us. So why aren't the people like us, if it is such this thing going on, then why aren't the essential employees who will be the last to be removed from work not tested first? If it wasn't for us, we wouldn't be moving how we need to move as a city, state, country. So it's so interesting to me that it sounds like a sales pitch. And I thought of Tamiflu. You remember during H1N1 when they created that drug Tamiflu? It's supposed to shorten the time frame that you deal with the flu. And as we already know, common fucking sense, there's nothing that they could create to stop it, because a virus has to run its course through your body, period. So all you could do is treat the symptoms. And so I just thought of that. So and then in Russia right now, today, um, in Russia, there was these guys that from Italy who went to Russia and got the medicine Abersol, Abridsol. I think I'm spelling it right, Abersol, and it's basically like the Russian version of Tamiflu. And they went across the borders to go get that medicine from the Russian pharmacy. Uh, I'm trying to get it.
Abidol.
Abridol, not Abrisol, Abridol.
20 milligrammi. 20? Questo è 10. 10 milligrammi. Vedi quello? 10 milligrammi. 20 milligrammi? No, sono 10 capsule. Ok. Ne dico una scala? No, due. Allora io. Un'altra. Another. Questo, fermo, ecco qua. Guardate tutti quanti. È il famoso coso del coronavirus. Ok. Voi mi potete dire in Italia come mai sono morte così tante persone per questa cosa? Per questo farmaco. Per questo farmaco che noi non ce l'abbiamo e loro ce l'hanno. Ok? Un bacione.
And it
Da
exists in
Mosca.
Moscow. Bitch, I hope it fucking showed. I think I accidentally pressed fucking pause.
E l'abidol. 20? Questo è 10. 10 milligrammi. Vedi quello? 10 milligrammi. 20 milligrammi? No,
Go to his page.
Ok.
Abridol.
Ne dico una scala? No, due.
They're in Moscow.
Un'altra. Another. Questo, fermo, ecco qua. Guardate tutti quanti. È il famoso coso del coronavirus. Ok. Voi mi potete dire in Italia come mai sono morte così tante persone per questa cosa? Per questo farmaco. Per questo farmaco che noi non ce l'abbiamo e loro ce l'hanno. Ok? Un bacione da Mosca.
Commercial.
Доказанная защита от простуды и гриппа. Исследования показали, орбидол снижает риск заражения до 7 раз и ускоряет выздоровление при гриппе на срок до 2 дней. Орбидол – доказанная защита от простуды и гриппа.
Лимоны очень полезны при простуде и гриппе. Конечно, если вы приняли орбидол. Ведь орбидол подавляет вирусы и помогает выздороветь быстрее. Все средства хороши, если принять орбидол.
That's another commercial that they had for the medicine Abridol. So it's like the Russian version of the Tamiflu that we had here in America, and a lot of people out. Well, it's starting to spread that is that there's demon as the cure to coronavirus. So that's what they think is happening, but whatever. So just to wrap all that up, to me, in my mind, it sounds like this huge sales pitch and cover up. It sounds like a huge sales pitch to get the masses to get this vaccine, and it sounds like a huge sales pitch to sell some fucking drugs. Okay, they ain't got nothing on Nino Brown ain't got nothing on Big Pharma. Let me just tell you that, and Bill Gates and all those other fuckheads. So then, when I was thinking about this too, now this is something that I thought in on myself when I had did that research on my own. I ran across this movie. I forgot what it's called, but it was basically talking about how about HIV, the pandemic of HIV. And there was so you could start your research by looking up Dr. Robert Gallo. And so I thought about HIV because there's this huge umbrella of symptoms that they have, and they will tell you it is based off your race, your sexual orientation, your promiscuity, or however you say that, if you're promiscuous or not. You know what I'm saying? And HPV as well. It's this huge umbrella of symptoms. And the only way that a person could really get anything like that is if it's injected into you. And I don't know if you remember, like back in, you might remember seeing some clips growing up of, they was calling it the gay virus and all this and that. Well, a lot of the times, not a lot of the times, how they ended up getting it too, and the people in Africa, how they ended up getting it. We'll start with the gay folks first. So it was per the hepatitis B vaccine. That's how they ended up getting it, because a lot of the times they was using drugs and shit like that, and they were getting treated for hepatitis B, and that's how they were injected with it, um, via this cure to hepatitis B. And in Africa, in the African countries, what they did was they basically went over there and was acting like they was gonna help them and this and that, and they basically injected them with fucking AZT, yo. I mean that's basically it, because them fools, they labeled it like the gay and African shit, and basically like it was just this big ass epidemic of HIV AIDS, and HIV does not turn into AIDS. What happens is, if you get air quote diagnosed with it and they start treating you with it, they start squeezing you up with the drug AZT. And once you get squeezed up with the drug AZT, that's why they start making you try to get on the medicine. And everybody starts presenting the same symptoms: elephantitis, um, sore spots on their body, boils on their body, and it's only until the treatment is implemented. And if you could look for yourself, people who refuse the drugs are the ones that live the longest. Once they started getting the fucking drugs, that's when they fucking started dying. And that's facts for your ass. You know what I'm saying? And even the doctor, Dr. Robert Gallo, who created the motherfucker, he can't even back his own shit up. There's a doctor that counteracts his bullshit, Dr. Peter Grusenberg. He is a world renowned scientist, okay? And he is telling the world, he done lost everything, telling the world that that is some bullshit. And also, I discovered a new doctor, um, Dr. Robert Strecker. He has 4 doctorates in fucking medicine. So you think I'ma just believe you or a news reporter over a motherfucker who has 4 doctrines and a scientist who fucking a world renowned awarded scientist, but I'm just gonna believe your black ass because you fell for the hype? What does it sound smarter to do? To believe a world renowned scientist, multiple scientists, a person who has 4 doctrines, one in biology, one in biology, and what was the other one? All in the field of medicine. Who does it sound more logical to believe? You? Out of here. Fuck out of here. That shit sounds stupid as fuck. So I'm supposed to believe you over them. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just saying, like, to me, they gave a good example. This feels like a Trojan horse. This feels like problem, reaction, solution. They present the problem, they create a reaction, and then they become fake heroes by coming up with some fake ass solution that kills you. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. As a matter of fact, What I also found too is India had held Bill Gates accountable for a lot of the shit that they were facing, because it wasn't up until his crunchy white ass went up in there and started injecting them people with that bullshit. And that's when the people started getting sick and dying. And not like Africa, them motherfuckers in India held his feet to the fire about that shit, because it wasn't until Bill Gates came with all his money and all his weirdo friends and used them as a petri dish for their his huge weird ass white ass scientist project. You know, these motherfuckers in this realm of discussion, black, white, Asian, Mexican, or Indian, feather and dot, it don't matter. They want to kill all you motherfuckers. Me too. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter about that. It's about them experimenting on people. It's about depopulation. Okay? Get it? You got it? Okay. Now let's go into old polio. So I started looking at old articles, because as I was listening, when I listen to this shit, when I read the shit, I pull up another tab and I look into that shit. I put that shit on pause, bloop, bloop, and I fucking research if the shit is true. I'll be back. I got a call. This comes from my bro. I just wanted to let you know, like, he's in whole prison, and so you can't order books. You can't order Behold a Pale White Horse. You can't order anything about Malcolm X. You can't order anything like that at all.
You can order the shit like the Communist Manifesto or shit like that.
Did you try to order the Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson?
I didn't even tried this, you know what I'm saying? So I hadn't even seen that book on in the catalogs or nothing like that. I got a list of books.
I'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna jump in until he calls me back or whatever. Um, So, in 1958, the polio vaccine was implemented. So, Jonas Salk um, is the developer of that vaccine. What I found really interesting is there was a campaign during that time that was basically just like how we're dealing with this thing. um they were saying it was flu-like symptoms, and they were saying that it stems from basically shit on your hands, and so that's why they were saying how important it was to wash your hands. And when they were talking about the symptoms, it was so interesting that they mentioned meningitis. And that's a throat issue, a really nasty ass throat issue. So, it's not a far fetched idea. If you're not washing your hands after you shit and you go and eat something, of course your throat is going to have some kind of fucked up issue. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he came up with this vaccine, and it wasn't until that vaccine was implemented on people, um, they started having paralysis. So people who had the vaccine ended up being partially, had paralysis. And later on, it was renamed the Guillain-Barré syndrome and flaccid paralysis. And that was 50% of the people who got the vaccine ended up like that. And then the other 50% generally recovered within the year. So to me, again, it sounds like a huge ass uh, sales pitch, just like Gardasil and HPV. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know, guys. I don't know what all this is and why the fuck, they want to use the world as a huge science project. But I just thought I'd point that shit out to you. Shout out to Dana Ashley for having so much courage. I would advise you to watch that video in its full content. Um, because she really breaks it all the way the fuck down. The symptoms and the correlation to the 60 gigahertz, and the impact that it has on the human body is very real. And that's what's going on now. And I personally think that they want us all off the streets so they could put this shit up. That's what I think. That's what I know. That's what I see. You know what I'm saying? And it's just what I see. And you know, believe it or not, so fucking be it. I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm about to stop trying to tell people what time it is. I'm going to just be like, don't get the vaccine, don't get the 5G. And if you want to know the reason is why, I'm going to just send them a video. That's it. I'm not, because it's pointless at this point. And we're not going to be at work anyway. And the messages that I send will be totally monitored, so I'm definitely not going to be doing that. I'll definitely be able to record more, that's for sure. And I'm really happy about that. But all in all, I hate every single thing about this situation. I can't wait for this shit to be fucking over. I just really would like for you guys to see the pattern from polio till today. From polio to Zika to H1N1 to this bullshit to HIV. I want you to look at the same. Look what was going on. Look what they did, and use your brain. Don't be afraid to use your brain. I don't think my brother gonna call me back, but I slid him in the conversation because he's in the prison and they're restricting the information that they could get. And unfortunately, I've been with quite a few guys who's been to prison or been with them while they were in jail, and it's such a huge difference from the late 90s, early 2000s to today. I remember we used to get these beautiful letters and things like that. This, because I'm, what is the word? Um, fuck, I can't think of the word, but I'm that kind of person who saves things that people give them. And it came in this awesome ass envelope. I think it had Winnie the Pooh, the Mexican homie, had hooked my ex up, and he sent this to me. I don't know if this was my birthday or Valentine's. No, this is just a regular, just a love letter that I got from my boo at the time, and the envelope was just awesome. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it was my birthday, but it was Valentine's. Like they used to just send these beautiful, because there's a lot of beautiful artists in there, and they get the homie to write some beautiful shit to their girl, and then, back in the day, you could send naked pics to your dude. I would take whole photo shoots. Okay. I wonder if he still got those, but I saved them. I saved them. And I can't find the other one, but I just wanted to give you a quick example of what we used to get. Sentimental. Your girl is sentimental. So yeah, I'm sentimental. I cherish things that people give me, little or small. The more love put into it, the more I'm gonna love it. I mean, henceforth the necklace. I'm sentimental. I'll wear it till the wheels fall off. With things like that. So, and it's really sad that now you can't even do that. It has to be black and white or blue and white paper. No, nothing. And I could draw and everything, and I used to make the envelope so gorgeous, and make it smell good so he could think about me, you know what I'm saying? And with my pictures, and I'll write my love letters, but you can't do that. You can't do that now. I mean, not that I would be doing that for my bro, but when my other bro was locked, I would send them things, to help him out. Like I know I was in a different world then, so I had a lot of bitches on deck and shit. So it wasn't nothing to send a whole bunch of naked ass pictures. I used to rip up magazines. I would send the nigga the whole magazine, just page by page in envelopes, so he could put it together and have and be on deck with what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I did that for my boo too. Interesting articles that pertain to hip hop and things like that, and just to keep their mind on deck and they can stay connected. But you can't do that now. You can't do that, and they're limited to to shit. Now I know there's other niggas out there getting away with a whole lot of shit, but I'ma just keep it clean. I don't want to get nobody in trouble about what niggas be doing. But other niggas, I see it on the Instagram. They be wilding, okay, but I haven't seen my brother doing no ill shit like that. He keeps it pretty cool. But I be sending him money to order books and shit. And I slid that in because I wanted to point out in this video the restriction of information. So when I get this next tax return, it's going all in important shit. I'm gonna use some of that money to make more money. I'm gonna use money to, of course, get my brother together. And then, all those books that soon you're not going to be able to get. So I'm going to start getting them now. Like, I've already, well, I listened to the audio book a few times. Behold a Pale Horse. Books along those lines, like the 50 Laws of Power. I listened to that audio. Sun Tzu. I tried to read that book. I was so bored. So I'm not going to act like I'm just like ill like that, but I was fucking bored. I'm just not interested in warfare like I thought I was. But I'm going to force myself to continue reading it. And I need to force myself to finish the medical apartheid. But, it is so hard to power through that book. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not the only one who said that. I'm not the only one. There's thousands of us. It is that book is fucking hard to read because you see in gruesome documented detail of what was actually done to our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? What continues to go on today, and especially with me having that long stint in the hospital and I was by myself. I think that's what made me a lot tougher coming out of that, because that was really scary. It was so fucking scary, and because you don't have no control over yourself. And at that time, I didn't have no control of myself, and it was really hard. I mean, I was by myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made it more scary. So you got a loved one, man, and they end up in the hospital, be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit is hard to go through alone. You know what I'm saying? So boom, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I got things that I need to do, things that I need to take care of to make sure that I'm on deck. And that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to keep it pushing and keep it as regular as I can, and do what I normally do, get ready for the week, and I'm gonna go live after I upload this video, and chop it up with y'all just for a little minute because where I'm trying to go don't open till like I think 11, so it's only 9:30, and yeah, this is a lot to deal with. But anyway, if you watch to the end, youdabomb.com, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe, okay? Subscribe. We are a minute away from the 1,000 goal. We got 630 motherfuckers on the team ready to rock. I really thank you for the support. My ride or dies, yo. Y'all was really coming back and trying to support your girl last night. And I'm sorry about all the tears, but I just get so frustrated because I don't, behind the scenes, I put a lot into this. And it may not seem like it by the way I verbalize it, but just being really truthful, I put a lot into this shit. And, I haven't been sleeping all week. You know what I'm saying? Like, your girl really should be in the bed. But, you got to keep it pushing and go hard. You know what I'm saying? So, um, and I really like this job, you know what I'm saying? And I want it to be another source of income, you know what I'm saying? Rather they demonetize the shit that I do or not, that little boost will help, you know what I'm saying? Whatever little bit they allowed me to have, but I don't give a fuck about that because I already got a gig, but I'm hungry. Hopefully you didn't hear that. But I'm about to get out of here, but make sure you tune into the live. I'm going to go live 2 times today, here in a minute, and later on when I get back home tonight. And we could just chop it up about some real shit. Okay? So yeah, Care Bears, Truth Bears, we in this bitch because we give a fuck. And that's that. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care, share if you dare, especially if you're a Care Bear. Peace, love, and hair grease, and all that jazz.